Their high ceilings, open concept, and big windows make them coveted. But trying to make a large industrial loft space feel cozy can be a real challenge. Designer Shai DeLuca-Tamasi shows us how to make all that wall and floor space feel like home.
I love loft living, which is why I'm so excited to show you guys this project. Now, there are two types of lofts. Hard, which is a commercial space turned into residential, or soft, which is a new build made to look like a commercial space. This, of course, is a hard loft, and I love it. Now, the one challenge with hard lofts is sometimes the building will not let you touch the interior architecture. But in this case, who would want to? The beautiful high ceilings, the wood beams, the archways, really conducive to true loft living. The one challenge, though, is defining your spaces. Because we can't erect walls in the interior, we have to be able to define the spaces using furniture. Let's start off with the dining area. So we had this custom walnut table done, which really spans the length of the dining area and defines it for us. Paired it with these beautiful custom fabric chairs in a gray to really pick up the architectural details in the rest of the space, and then add a little fun and whimsy with this mid-century fabric. Of course, that carried over here into the bar stools right behind in the kitchen. Now, when you have ceilings this high, lighting is key. So we chose these beautiful oversized light pendants for over the dining table, which really bring the scale to a more human level. And then, of course, here over the island, we decided to go with something a little bit more modern, which really is an interesting juxtaposition to the otherwise very commercial and industrial space. One of the homeowners is an artist, and she loved this space because it really gave a great backdrop to some of her beautiful pieces. Now, when we designed the living area, again, using furniture to define the space, we created almost a rectangle or square. And the challenge with that is it can be quite harsh, especially in a loft like this. So instead of doing a rectangular or square coffee table, we opted for 3 round tables at varying heights, which softens the area completely.
Look, if you go to our Facebook page and interact with our 360 video. So you zoom into all the details you want to see in this beautiful space, and you can really get in there. And now, to show us how to get the loft look in your own home, Shai is here in studio with us. So good to see you. So a lot of us love this look,
yeah.
But maybe we don't live in a loft space, but we want to be able to have that sort of open concept situation happening. So you've got all of these tips to help us do this in our own space, starting with using furniture to help us to define the spaces, right?
Exactly. So in a true loft, you're going to have a big open area, but that feels very almost engulfing. So we have to have a way in which we can define the spaces that we're living in.
Right.
Furniture is a great way to do it. So if you look at what we've done here, and all these pieces are from EQ3, using a rug, for example, already delineates the area.
Yes.
So we know we're in some sort of an area here because the color transition or the material transition gives us a delineation of space, and we already kind of feel in a separate area. But the furniture itself is also really important. Now, loft spaces, because they're big and open, what I like to do in a loft is rather than a sofa, I like to do a daybed.
Nice.
Right? Because the daybed doesn't have a back.
Yes.
So you can move this around any which way that you want. Now, even if you're living in a space that's not a true loft, but you've opened up all your walls in order to create that feel, this is a great piece to do because you can move it around based on where you want to situate your living room that day or that month or you know, whatever it is.
But you have a whole little conversational area, and that's sort of the point.
You got it.
The other thing is lighting.
Yes.
That's key. So what do we need to think about when it comes to our lighting?
So in a true loft, your ceiling heights are usually 14, 15, sometimes 16 feet. You need to think about lighting. So lighting is key. Obviously, you want to have pendants hang down from the ceiling, but layered lighting. So you want to have table lamps. You want to have floor lamps.
That's so nice.
Right? And that's really cool in a loft space because let's say, for example, you don't necessarily have ceiling lamps. To have 6 arms like that that you can reposition and kind of direct in different ways almost gives you 6 lamps in one.
Yes.
You can have reading, you can have in the sofa. And then, of course, it's all about the light bulbs themselves. So Sengled has this really cool light bulb now that you screw in. It's about 23,000 hours you get for it, an LED bulb, but it is completely controlled on a little, almost like a little like a hub. And then through your phone, you can actually control it. You can change the colorways. You can do all these cool things with it. And it's great because if you're up in a ceiling high, you don't want to get up there to change that bulb every
No.
month or whatever. 23,000 hours, so it's fantastic.
So you want it to last forever, and you want to be able to sort of manipulate it from
You got
your
it.
phone or from an app. That's
Yes.
smart. Very nice.
And the other thing about the lighting is you want to make sure that a loft space feels warm and inviting, just like you
Cozy.
said. It can get very cold. So with that bulb, you can actually change the colorways. You can do warm and you can do light as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
A faux brick wall you mentioned is
Yeah.
something that you might want to add to the space. Why is that important?
So the loft look is that industrial commercial look, right? These faux brick panels are fantastic. You can get them at the big
look
box
very
stores.
real.
Right? You can get them at the big box stores, and the way that they've been painted out is you can kind of see the little white throughout, and that's on purpose.
Yes.
Because you want to make it feel as though it's real. Real brick would have that kind of industrial, kind of almost shabby chic look in the grout line.
Yes.
So that's important to have.
Love that. I like the fact that you've also painted it the color to replicate concrete.
You got it. So Kendall Charcoal by Benjamin Moore. I
My
absolutely love this color.
Me
And it's
too.
a real true testament to loft living.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the materials you've used in the space,
Yeah.
because they're adding to the comfort level as well.
100%. Loft feeling, loft living. It's very cold and sometimes can be too cold. So ways in which to combat that is to have really warmer kind of enveloping materials. Now we've done leather. So leather isn't necessarily the most warm fabric when you think about it, but look at the colorway. It has this mushroom color to it.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit warmer. And then of course these beautiful textiles that we've done in the throws, the throw on the chair, and the rug itself, Trace. So the rug is that really natural looking fiber. It's nice and warm. It's
Yep.
easy to care for because it's double-sided. When you spill your red wine, you don't got to worry about
Flip
it.
it over.
Flip it over, and you're good to go. But the stone as well, right? So stone
Yes.
is a big part of loft living, and whether or not you have it in marbles or in concretes, it's something you definitely should have.
It's not like everything here is uber contemporary either. So
Right.
it's transitional. You don't
Absolutely.
feel like you're in a museum, a cold museum.
This is what I love about loft living, is that you don't feel like you're in this, like you say, museum where everything is
Yeah.
so situated. It's a lot more relaxed, a
Right.
lot more casual, which I love.
Me too. Let's talk. You talked a little bit about the rug.
Yeah.
Can we talk a bit about, is that a mirror? Is that supposed to be a mirror?
That is a door.
I'm just checking.
That is a
The
door.
reason why I thought it was a mirror, sometimes we blot them out because on camera it's hard
Yes.
to have the reflection all the time, but
Correct.
it's supposed to be a door.
It is. So if you look at the top,
That's a
Tracy,
piece.
yeah, that is a great piece. So loft living is very much about that barn door, industrial door
Yes.
style. It's not a door that's going to close. It's a door that's going to slide over the wall in front
Nice.
of. And look at the beautiful hardware. And what's great about this is by Loft Doors, by the way, is you can change the hardware based on kind of what your style is. So if you go something a little bit more modern, or if you want to do a little bit more traditional,
Yeah.
and even if you did something like this, it's in this black, but the juxtaposition of that kind of very modern loft space with something like this really works well.
Beautiful, and I like the plant.
Yeah.
I like the idea of bringing in, a little bit of that nature and
Yeah.
natural and rustic. You've got the, what are they called again?
The succulents?
Succulents.
Yes, yes.
This is how good I know my
knew it.
plants. So succulents.
The
You got
succulent.
those,
Yep.
and they last no matter what. And then you've got the everlasting,
Yes, fiddly
gorgeous
fig.
green. Yeah, it's fake.
It's
That's what I mean
it's
by
totally fake.
everlasting.
But that's the thing about loft living is
gonna
oftentimes you'll have
forever.
only windows on one side.
Yes.
You don't get enough light. So to have these faux, artificial, everlast, whatever it is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really great way to do it.
They look really good.